Wednesday night, ladies and gentlemen, all over the world. This is your commentator, Marchmeister, and welcome to the second race of the Season 6 of Neo Racing League, the Reverse British Grand Prix. Fourth time we're hosting the British Grand Prix in our history. First we hosted it in Season 2, where a certain driver named Morocco, who became champion that season, won the race. Then in Season 3, which was a championship deciding a race, specifically the Drivers' Championship between Neons Rombos and JPS. It was won by Alistar 711, one and only victory for him in his career in Neo Racing League. But JPS was the one who became champion that day of Season 3. And then in Season 4, where all hell broke loose between the championship contenders Shoot Fizz and Speed Queen, and in the end it was Shoot Fizz who won the championship, but Speed Queen won the Grand Prix. So there's that, and we're now in Season 6 for Race 2 in the reverse layout of this legendary circuit, not just in real life but also in this league's history, as we've just done a Belgian Grand Prix last week, the season opener, where we saw likes of these two drivers, Gary Gator and Leon, fight against one another, both in qualifying and in the race, therefore cementing themselves as the early frontrunners for the Drivers' Championship for sure. I changed up a little bit of a camera angle from last time. I'm sure you'll like it or not. Maybe, we'll see. Give me your thoughts in the comments. But anyway, yeah, Gary and Leon at the moment the front-running drivers in this championship so far. Only done one race, but definitely could be the case for the following races as well. So there's that. But in the end, Leon took both the pole position, fastest lap, and the race victory. Grand slam for the Austrian driver in the Alpine, who's starting his championship defense at with his third career victory in this league. Followed by Gary, who took second place, and then it was Shootfist who, despite the drive-through penalty he got during one of the safety car periods, finished in the third place, with Gortini finishing in fourth, who's still in the pits. I think it was Passive Zeus in fifth. Yeah, it was Passive Zeus in fifth, and Snappers for Life in sixth. So, yeah, with the League Legend JPS crashing out on lap 3 in qualifying. Not in qualifying, but during the Grand Prix. So, there's that. But let's watch Passive Zeus' lap in the Mercedes W15. I think I named the correct name of the car, but anyway, Passive Zeus on his first attempt of a time lap, as he's going through the club. He just went through the club just a couple of corners ago. He's going through Beckett's. Wrong, it's Beckett's and Maggots, as it's a reverse layout. As you can see, didn't take much of a curve there on the left side, but still manages to keep it within the track limits there, Passive Zeus. So. And he's starting on softs as well, so which is a welcoming change of scenery, I guess. But he goes over the white line at Cops, but he still manages to maintain the valid lap time so far, as he's going through Luffield, and now, which will switch to the right-hander, which I don't remember the name just yet. We'll figure out shortly, but yeah, now going through the third sector, or the first sector if it was the regular layout, breaks around the 50 meters through the third to last corner, now second to last corner. Well, actually it's third. This one was third to last corner, I apologize. For the final two corners he goes. Shootfist sets the time, 27.4, with Passive Zeus setting 28.7. So I apologize to Shoot for missing that detail, so does that. Let's switch to championship leader, current champion, Formula Leon. He's about to cross the line, and he sets a 25.9 across the line for his first attempt a lap, and setting a strong benchmark for likes of Gary, Gortini, and Sniper to beat, with Gary being the most likely to try to match it. But Shuf is, as far as I know, he's on the controller. Today. Last time he was on the wheel, but obviously change of scenery from last week, therefore has to use a controller as a result. So as he's just made a spin into the barrier there out of that right-hander, but not sure if that will make a highlight reel. But anyways. Right, let's see who's ahead of who right at the moment. Gary is on his out lap. Sniper is also going through the third sector now. I think he's the ahead of those three who are currently on their out laps, so we could just watch him. The only team really who is fully represented are Williams with Shufis and Sniper. So there's that. Let's watch Sniper to his first flying lap. Did have a bit of a confrontation with Passive Zeus during the race. Multiple contacts between him and the Mercedes driver, which didn't end up well for Williams more specifically, but nevertheless, still, season is very long. There's still plenty of opportunities for him to recover, of course, as we watch him go through Beckett and the Maggots with a alleged purple sector, but that remains to be seen if that will be the actual case. I didn't see the exact time he set in the first sector, but nevertheless I think it should be okay for at least B3. At least judging what he's shown in Belgium. So he's going through Luffield now with that Golfa Williams livery, which is a pretty welcoming change if you ask me, with having different liveries for both cars, you know. So he sets 103.4 through the second sector. Going through the double right-hander through the corner, which is on the regular layout turn 4, now to turn 3, through Anfield, and into the final corner he goes. Sniper across the line, 28.896, over a tenth behind Passive Zeus. And I think Gortini will be the next one to finish his lap. 103.1 from him. Pretty quiet race from him. Pretty steady from Gortini, but pretty quiet Belgian Grand Prix he's had in comparison to the others. Was less noticeable for me anyway. But let's watch him go through the final two corners. Goes across the sausage curves a little bit, and it crosses the line to set a 28.342 with Gary Gator. Can he challenge Formula Leon? Not only he can challenge Formula Leon, but he can jump ahead of him to take provisional pole position with 10 minutes left. 25.9 flat from the Irish driver in DRP to try and snatch a first pole position of the season for himself. Formula Leon just has to find at least 5.5 hundredths to beat that time. Passive Zeus, I think, is on a push lap as well, but he is flashing battery, I'm not sure. No, he's not improving, so it's a slowdown lap, I would assume, or an in lap. We'll see, of course, but let's see, Gortini's not improving, he's on his in lap most likely. Carrigator's on his in lap, and Shoot is on his push lap. So yeah, let's shoot. Watch Shoot. How easy he gonna do on the controller? Currently with 27.4 he sits. in third place. 1.5 seconds behind the top two, yet almost a second ahead of the next car behind him, as we have a yellow flag in the third sector for, I think it was one of the Williamses of my his teammate shoots, slides out of cops and damages his front wing. Oh, yeah, it could have been an improvement there for sure, but unfortunately he just overdid it on the exit and lost control of his car. Has to try again, of course. But yeah, that's the situation pretty much for the top 6 drivers. Only 6 drivers there. Here today, it looks like. Depends on if the situation changes for Formula Offensive, who has checked into attend, but at the moment doesn't seem like he might will join the session at all. So, which is a shame, but it is what it is. But yeah, not really much going on apart from Formula Leon now leaving the pits. Again, full 20 points he took from Belgium. 19 points for the race victory and 9 extra point for the fastest lap. And he will try as much as he can to continue that momentum heading into this reverse British Grand Prix, with Gary being closest competitor, judging from the last week's race and judging from the current qualifying session, of course. But yeah, on board with Leon, who rocks a Lewis Hamilton helmet. He does improve by nearly 2 tenths in the second sector. Breaks at the around 50-meter board. Gets the apex beautifully nailed. A little bit missed out there, but these are bits quickly on the exit, but I think it shouldn't be too much of a problem to improve, and he does improve by over 10.5 to set a 25.7 across the line, with Gary Gator currently on the outlap, as well as Passive Zeus and Sniper being on their respective outlaps. The Gulf Williams livery owner Sniper. Yeah, Sniper, that's what I meant to say. Yellow flag, it was for Shoot, yeah, so Shoot is he gonna give strip stream to Sniper? That's the question. Seems like he does, but I'm not sure if Sniper had DRS enabled. Should have had, because there's a DRS zone, DRS trait. But on the cameras it didn't look like he used it, so I might be wrong. Might be a visual glitch, who knows. But yeah, Sniper's pushing, currently last 28.8. Has to beat Passive Zeus by it's a tenth and a quarter of a second, at least. And half a second behind the McLaren of Gortini. So there's that. But yeah, this track actually serves as a home track for 8 of our currently 14 drivers who are both in the driver on our driver roster, both full-time and reserve, and yeah. Should be interesting to see who's going to come out on top. If we're going to see a hometown hero become a winner here. We did have 2 out of 3 race winners coming from the United Kingdom, so I think we should be okay with that one. But yeah, at the moment, Passive Zeus is improving on mediums. Okay. 6 tenths through the second sector, as he's navigating through these final few corners. Does take it very safe on the exit there. Has to nail that final corner, which he manages to do so, and he sets a 27.7 on the mediums and passes Gortini for that P4 place. So yeah. But Cortini's gonna retaliate soon. He's now going through Luffield right here. The McLaren driver, the only McLaren driver in the grid today, without his teammate XX Imperium. So he's going through the third sector now. Double right-hander, which is pretty tricky to get because it's very fast. Right-hander that follows by a very low speed right-hander as well. The Cortini manages to nail it very nicely here. Going through the final corner, he does. Did he really improve on his current time? No, he doesn't. 800s, nearly 900s down on his lap time. Gary Gator invalidated on this attempt, so yeah, he has to make it quick if he wants to make a change of tire. So there's that. The chute also bailed out, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Gary's gonna go into the pits or he's gonna try and go again. Yeah, he's gonna go again. So, or is he gonna try to? That is. There's not much time left, as there's a double stack in the Williams. So it's not ideal for Sniper, who's currently sitting in last place and has to wait for Chute to for the mechanics, for Chute's mechanics to deliver his car into the pits. And Sniper got a compromise as a result of that. It might be tight on the final outlap that he does. So there's that. We saw Passive Zeus and Gary Gator going to the pits, and Cortini still struggling around the third sector now. Well, the end of the sector 2, I should say. But yeah. Cortini with the shoe. Gonna go into the pits. Or do one final push lap. It's yet to be determined, of course. Though he's done the flying lap on these tiles already, so now he's gonna switch to the pits instead. So I think Cortini might just be done with this qualifying session. He will sit currently in P5. The only man on the outlap was Formula Leon before Shootfist decided to ruin my sentence, but you know, it's fine. Yeah, plenty of people going out. Gary Gator and Shoot are in the first sector of the track, and we just Formula Leon is gonna go all out on the final attempt to try and maximize the advantage over him and Gary, which is currently sitting at over 1/10. And Shoot for the Shumi Shrine, and I'm gonna try and retain that B3 at minimum. Sniper is out on track. Will he make it? 45 seconds left though. So it is race against time for the second Williams driver. But yeah, let's switch to Formula Leon instead. So opening the DRS through this DRS straight, through the first sector, 700s down Formula Leon after crossing the first sector line. Still has plenty of time to find if he can manage to do so. Very fast through Cops, almost flat out through that section. Did go Leon as he's now going through Luffield. Tries to pull it tightly. Passive Zeus Snipers for life. They're not gonna improve on their time, so they're gonna stay 4th and 6th. Cortini retired in the pit, so it's 5th place for the McLaren driver. Shoot, Fizz, Gary, and Leon. These are the 3 drivers who are still gonna try and improve on their current lap times. I just missed Leon's second sector progress, but we'll see across the finish line. Is he gonna improve from his current lap time, 25.7? No, he doesn't. Misses out by nearly 300ths there, the Austrian driver, but he remains in pole as things stand. Now it's a Shoot Fizz, the next car to cross the line, and then behind him it will be Gary Gator, who is just about to approach the end of the second sector. Well, how much is Gary improving? It doesn't show. It didn't show. Okay. Back to shoot then. Back to shoot, who is going through the final 3 corners now. Will he be able to improve from 24.7? He does. 26.5, which is 8/10 down. But how about Gary Gator? Is he going to improve? Is he going to take pole? He does so! Gary Gator, first pole position of the season at the Reverse British Grand Prix for the Irish driver, and beats Formula Leon by a quarter of a second. What a lap from Gary Gator there. Wowzers. So it's Gary Gator over on Leon, then it's Shoot Fizz and Passive Zeus on mediums, and then it's Cortini and Slepper for Life Your 6 drivers today. I'll just let the drivers know when to start the countdown really quickly. But yeah, what a lap from Gary. Genuinely incredible lap time. Does have a bit of a reputation for it in terms of having a qualifying pace, this driver in the RP. But will it materialize when we approach the Grand Prix? That's the question, which seems to be sunny for the race. So yeah, and at the moment it looks like split the strategies, but obviously we'll find out once the formation commences, which will be in hopefully in 3 minutes, unless somebody pressed the ready up buttons too early. I might be wrong. But anyway, yeah. The top 2 the same as in a freaking Belgium Grand Prix. As well as Shoot Fizz being in 3rd place. Passive Zeus actually had a strong qualifying for his standards, and especially on mediums, which is pretty surprising. Cortini, slightly disappointed, I would say. Could have been ahead of Passive Zeus possibly, but didn't materialize. And then Sniper probably could have improved on the final flying lap, but got compromised by his teammate who arrived into the pits first. But we'll have to settle for 6th and final place in the end. So, but yeah, all 6 drivers, if they manage to finish, they are guaranteed points in the championship. So all they just have to do is finish, really. So there's that. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, we have 3 at minimum. Actually 4, yeah. 4 hometown drivers here tonight. 1 Irishman and 1 Austrian, and none of the British drivers are in the top 2, which is not ideal, I guess, if you're a very patriotic British person. So yeah, just waiting for the time to hit the buzzer. They were notified to start at 56, so they should start at 56. But interesting who will beat the track record, which belongs to Morocco, who did it in season 2, where he set a 27.2 at 7.4 as the fastest ever lap set around this track. But that was on the regular layout, but we were on the reverse layout, so it might change, of course. But formation laps on the way then for the reverse British Grand Prix with only 6 cars on the grid today. We do not have Sloskarn in the Red Bull. We do not have Formula Phantom in the Mercedes. We do not have a XX Imperium in the McLaren, as is in the Aston Martin. And also the reserves, Funny Wave Band, Burrow, JPS, and some guy named Marchmaster. I don't know who that is, but yeah, formation lap on the way. Situation with the tires. It is 4 out of 6 on mediums, 2 out of 4 on hard tires. So Jude's gonna try and fight a long battle, whilst Leon and Gary gonna fight aggressively on that first stint, with Cortini and Sniper to try and make any kind of inroads on Passive Zeus or even Shootfizz. Who knows? But yeah, definitely very split strategies by everybody involved. But yeah. Regarding Team Championship, we have Alpine leading the way with only Formula Leon being in that team. Shootfizz and Sniper accumulated 18 points to put himself, Williams in P2. Actually, in Season 5, Williams haven't scored points at all. The fact that Williams scored 18 off the bat this season shows that there is massive progress made for the team. Then it's RP with 14, which is purely Gary Gator. Then it's McLaren, and then Mercedes, the 5th placed team. So it should be interesting to see as everybody lines up on the grid now. Sniper is the final car to approach the grid, and we can see all drivers hit their grid spots. And the lights are gonna go out in Silverstone, reverse. And the wheels are spinning in reverse layout of Silverstone. Gary had a shocking start, which will allow Leon to get ahead of them into the first corner. Shootfizz is still in 3rd with Zeus, Cortini, Steppers left, going wide at the 3rd corner. But what a shocking start from Gary. After taking that pole position, Gary just lost out quite massively, which allowed Austrian ahead of him now to capitalize on his mistake here. Almost like 2026 F1 cars with their slow starts. But yeah, Leon off the bat in the lead, but Gary's Gator is looking to retaliate into Cops. Is he gonna do it? No, he's gonna back out of it. Too risky of an opportunity to commit to. So there's that. As Cortini goes past Passive Zeus through the left-hander to take 4th place on the mediums. And yeah, there you have it. Position change number 2 on this race was made by the McLaren. But Leon and Gary, the main event, of course, at this moment, with Shootfizz missing out by 1.5 on that controller. As we see Gary get to look on the inside of Leon there, but didn't have enough of a speed or a margin to make that stick whatsoever, therefore allowing Leon to defend that position thus far. As Gary goes very wide off the apex there. Will that work for him? I'm not sure. I think Leon might have gotten a better exit out of that corner, as the DRS will be enabled this lap. We'll see how these two are gonna squabble in that DRS straight when we approach Beckett's and Maggots, as we do the reverse layout yet again. I need to mention that. As we see a Passive Zeus being very close on the rear of Cortini, but not close enough for any kind of move whatsoever. Sniper was very close at one point, but lost out there somewhere in the 1st sector. As back to these top two as Gary pushes very hard. Inside move for Gary, attempt at least into left field. Leon is gonna have the inside line into the right-hander, but Gary's gonna try and do the switchback, but Leon blocks that attempt from Gary, which will allow Leon to keep the position as it stands. And into the double right-hander they both go. Will there be any other move attempt from Gary, who seems to have a better traction out of that corner, but when heading into the left-hander, Leon takes the advantage. And yeah, there you have it. Shoot Fizz is pretty much a sitting duck in his own world, but he does have a bit of a DRS stream building up with Cortini, Zeus and Sniper sitting it 4th, 5th and 6th, and trying to wait for some sort of mistake from Shoot to capitalize. No, Cortini is dropped on quite massively, but Gary is very close to Leon, but at the exit though he just lost out a little bit there. I'm not sure if he's gonna... yeah, I don't think he's gonna be able to do anything here whatsoever. Sniper got past passive Zeus there, but Zeus is very close on the inside as they go through Beckett's and Maggots together side by side. Sniper will take that 5th place eventually. Zeus tried to fight it back, but unfortunately just didn't have enough of a margin whatsoever to recapitalize on that. But yeah, there's that. As Gary goes into the inside of Leon into left field, and Gary retakes the lead, which he originally gained in qualifying, but lost straight away at the start. But the question is, will Leon retaliate straight away? As we see Passive Zeus being very close onto the rear of Sniper, but took a very tight line on the exit of the corner, or during the mid-corner phase. I see Cortini dropped out by 3.7 seconds. Something must have happened with Cortini. It was some sort of a massive mistake through that corner, through that lap, I should say. I apologize. But yeah, Gary Gator is actually the fastest lap of the race. So at the moment, Gary and Leon are trading fastest laps. With we see Shoot in the background, 3 seconds behind, who's playing the long game pretty much at this moment in time. As we do have a DRS enabled for Formula Leon. He is getting closer, but not really the overtaking place to try and attempt to do it. Though Passive Zeus might try it on the outside, which will switch to the inside. Sniper did see him coming. Might try switch back there. Passive Zeus switches to the inside, heading into Cops. Will he make it stick? Yes, he will. Passive Zeus reclaims that 5th spot as Sniper goes onto the grass, and Zeus gets the DRS off the Williams driver there. As we go back to the top 2 with Leon being very close onto the rear of the RB of Gary Gator, who... ooh, very late braking there by Leon. Not sure if it was him braking late or Gary braking early, but it was very close from that chopper camera view. So there's that. No improvements on the fastest lap. So those mediums are starting to drop off just a little bit. And Sniper is now more than a second behind, 1.7. Behind Passive Zeus, who's trying to chase Cortini, who's 6 seconds behind Shoot, who is 2.2 seconds behind Formula Leon, who will have DRS on Gary, but obviously not enough of a margin built for a move heading through Beckett's and Maggots, of course. But yet, these two are still continuing that championship contending momentum on race 2 out of 12 this season. If in case you missed it, there are now 12 races instead of 14, which was the case for season 3 till season 5, but it was decided that we will shorten it to 12 instead from now on. So yeah. With Formula Leon, who is channeling his Lewis Hamilton spirit by using his, I think, Monza helmet? I'm not sure. But, yeah, he's currently on charge to try and catch Gary, who seems to be holding up just about well in comparison to the Austrian, who's trying to do his best to improve from his current position. We'll get the DRS though, heading out of that corner, but probably very unlikely to catch up to Gary, as Sniper's gone to the pits for his first, I'm not sure, scheduled pit stop. Is it the scheduled pit stop for him? I think it is, yeah, it is the first scheduled pit stop for Sniper, who's gone on mediums again, so it's probably going to be a 2-stop, because he needs to switch to a different set of tires afterwards. So, yeah, let's see if that undercut attempt on Passive Zeus, I would assume, will work out. So, Passive Zeus is on hard, so I think Zeus can afford to go much longer than Sniper did, so as Gary is breaking the slipstream from Formula Leon, he was just about clinging into that DRS margin. Seem a bit squabbly though, out of that third, it's the last corner. The RB driver. And he's now over a second away from Formula Leon, which makes me think either Gary's attacking fully, exploiting his ERS to its limit, or is it just Leon preserving a battery before the DRS zone, which is right here. And he's not going to get DRS in this instance, so yeah, someone is definitely either emptying their ERS or saving their ERS. That would be the case, either case for both of these drivers. With Shoot Fizz, the wheel and pad merchant driving pretty much the patience game, doing the patience game with hoping to get some sort of mistake from both Gary and Leon. Though he does seem to be doing pretty well with, reasonably well, on the controller right now. Well, everyone else is pretty much in their own part of the track, as you can see. But looking at Leon, Gary had a bit of a lockup before the right-hander, which might allow Leon to close up just a little bit. Actually close up massively. Gary's going into pits. So Gary has enough of these tires. The question is, what tire is he gonna use for his second stint, as we are on board with the Irish driver, who is trying to contend with Formula Leon, not just for the victory in this race, but also the championship, the Drivers' Championship that is. And that's a hard tire equipped on that V carb. I apologize, RB car, which will put him currently in P5 behind Passive Zeus, 8.8 seconds down. Now the question is how Leon's gonna retaliate. Is he gonna stay out, or is he gonna go in straight after Gary Gator done so? But we have plenty of corners to go for that to find out if Alpine and Formula Leon answer to that undercut from Gary. Will it work out for the Austrian? Will he keep the position, or will it be Gary who is going to retain that lead once Leon decides to go into pits? So, no, Leon stays out. So, Leon decides to stay out for at least another lap. So, Leon believes he has much better tires in his disposal, although they are a lap worn tires at this point. But the issue is not just Gary. Sure, we're gonna try and close up on him or extend this advantage. Schiff is actually catching up with him. He's nearly within a second of the Austrian, but he didn't get the DRS on this in this section, in the first sector. But look at Shu, he's just catching Formula Leon right now. You can see those hard tires in comparison to the mediums. Night and day almost. Like you can literally see the margin just disappear with Shoot Fizz getting closer and closer by each kilometer to Formula Leon. Surely Leon's thinking to pit anytime soon. Or is he gonna let Shoot through? I'm not sure. He's gonna let Shoot through, so Leon's gonna let Shoot through. And Shoot, for the first time in this season, he's gonna take the lead of the race on the hard tire. And Leon is charging his battery by the looks of it. But will he go into the pits? That's the question. Yes, he does. So, yeah, that he has had enough of those mediums. He's going into the pits gingerly and safely. It is pretty easy, to be honest, to over speed in that pit entry. So, don't blame the drivers for doing so. As we see, Gary Gates around the outside of Passive Zeus out of that exit of the third to last corner. And we'll take the fourth position. The bad news is for Leon that he's going to rejoin being behind Gary. Though Gary was ahead when he made his first pit stop. Possibly his only one, we'll see. Yeah, Leon will rejoin in fifth place. With Shootfizz essentially being the leading car at the moment of this bunch that we have today. And actually got let out Gary Gates to get back on the podium position. And he was 4.6 seconds behind Gortini, but he made a mistake before he heading into Cops. I'm not sure what happened to Gary. Why is he losing the position to Passive Zeus? I'm not sure. What happened to Gary? Was he deliberately slowing down to get DRS? I'm not sure. It's very strange from Gary, this one. It's very strange. But anyway, why is he going wide now? Okay, interesting. Is Gary having some issues? Does he have any issues on his technical department, whatever? Not sure. This is going into the pits now. Gary must have some issue with the technical issue. And he gets a third second time penalty. And he retires! So that pretty much seals it for Gary in this race. And if I'm not mistaken, he might have had some technical problem with his setup. As we see Sniper just demolish that 100-meter board. What I mean, I'm shocked. On lap 11, Gary had won the lead, but I was watching the gaps between him and Gortini. It was 4.6 seconds, and then it dropped to 7. They lost the position to Passive Zeus. Something must have happened to Gary's equipment there. That's my the most likely guess I can make out of it. But yeah, Formula Leon is definitely on the high right now. Though he does have Shoot to worry about as well, so it's not exactly smooth sailing for the Austrian at the moment, who has Passive Zeus ahead of him, who's yet to stop. But he does let him through to not sacrifice his current race. We saw Gortini actually pit for the hard tire, and he's rejoined in 4th place and has a Sniper behind him, just over a second now behind. But yeah, interesting how Schuf is gonna perform against Leon, who is gonna pretty much go qualifying lap after qualifying lap to ensure that Shootfizz doesn't rejoin ahead of him when the Scotsman in the Williams decides to pit eventually. I would assume there are couple more laps left on these hard tires, so I think Shoot's gonna stay out for a little bit longer. But certainly, that was a plot twist if I ever saw one from Gary, who he's been a consistent front runner for the past like 4 seasons. Like even if he didn't race that regularly, like he was up there always. But the freaking the moment he had this pole position, the moment he could have probably had that race victory here in Silverstone, something else just happened to get in his way, and therefore he wasn't able to continue. But yeah, it's pretty much Shootfizz the only hope for Gary to at least minimize the damage. Passive Zeus has sped in the pit lane, so he's getting 10-second time penalty. Will he serve it in the pits right now? I'm not sure. We'll see. But that will be hanging on with him. That 10-second penalty will be with him on that for the remainder of the race. Remains to be seen, obviously. As he said, going on to mediums. Could potentially be a 2-stop from him as well. So yeah, but that doesn't help his cause, Passive Zeus's case whatsoever. Sniper's gone into the pits now, so he's going on a 2-stop again, switching onto the hard compound tire. Yeah, those mediums don't seem to be that durable whatsoever. Can't imagine what softs would have been like. Probably wouldn't have lasted beyond 5 laps, judging by the way how early drivers pitted for the hard tire or the different set of medium. But yeah, at the moment Leon is 22.8 seconds behind Shootfizz, who I would assume his strategy is to go as long as possible, and then when the time is right to strike on the mediums, he'll try and catch up on with the Alpine ahead of him once he rejoins the track. But yeah, pretty much everyone's in their own piece of track, so you know, not much to really cover. But it does open opportunity for someone like Gortini to score his first podium in this league, so it would be a pretty nice moment for him to have witnessed that. And also helps the Passive Zeus has a 10-second time penalty, and Sniper is half a minute down on the McLaren. But yeah, really, pretty much the only thing you could really watch out for is Leon and Shoot at this point, because I need to check actually the driver chat if Gary said something about the what happened. Okay, I see what's happened. So Gary Gator lost force feedback on his wheel, therefore that's why he had those that issue. So yeah, I was suspecting there was an equipment issue for Gary, because it was very unusual to see him slow down and go off the track like in that manner that he did. So yeah, we'll also eventually forced to retire because of that, which is a very big shame and complicates Gary's situation even further for his as he's chasing his first Drivers' Championship yet again. For Leon, who is trying to become the first multi-time Drivers' Champion. It is a very straightforward day, I would say, but remains to be seen, of course. Shoot is 19.8 seconds ahead. 19.8 seconds ahead of as my party just disconnected, but we did see Shoot go into the pits, so he's decided this is the time to strike against Leon, who is just about to cross the finish line in a couple of corners, as Shoot is now in his pit box to switch onto the medium tires. So the chase is on for the Williams driver, who will have to try and essentially cut the 8.9 second deficit on those mediums, which with 10 laps to go, if he manages to maintain consistent laps, that could be a possibility. Though Leon has a very decent margin on those tires still. But yeah, it's game on for Shoot to try and catch Formula Leon. In terms of positions, I mean, there's not much really to cover for that one. I mean, penalty-wise, Pastor Zeus had a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, so... But position-wise, it's not going to affect him at the moment. So the pit stops, everyone's done a 1 stop so far, apart from Sniper, who's done a 2 stop. So we have a yellow flag in the second sector. That's Pastor Zeus, who has gone onto the grass at the exit of Cops, which will allow Sniper to close in on him, but by how much, that's the question. Seems like just above 10 seconds. No, actually within 10 seconds, so Zeus is in danger to losing that position if he stays out until the end of the race. But yeah, Sniper is within the 10-second window, so yeah. Zeus is struggling, yeah, once again, it goes again off the track there at the before the sharp right-hander. I don't remember the corner of the name of the corner, but yeah, Zeus has gone to the pit. Something has to happen to Zeus as well. He's chasing it very carefully into the pits, and will decide to relinquish the position to Sniper, who's going to jump up to P4. So Williams is going to gain some valuable points in the team championship, which is also has prize money involved, 20 euros or equivalent of the winning driver's native currency. This much is at stake for the team championship. For the drivers, it's 40 euros or equivalent to the driver's native winning driver's native currency. That is. All right. That's the stops covered. Position-wise, the gained biggest winners Gortini and Sniper with 2 positions gained each. Shoot Fizzing Leon gained 1. Zeus lost 1, and Gary Gator DNF'd. Shoot Fizz sets a fastest lap. So there's that. But you have a yellow flag for Gortini, who's gone off before the left-hander. No trouble whatsoever for him, so he can carry on just like he was. And there's that. Yeah, fast lap by Shoot, 29.6. Then it's Formula with 35.5. Pastor Zeus with 30.5. 31.1 for Sniper, and 31.8 for Gortini. So that's that. Anything else to cover? not really switch to soft tires, so he's going to stop again. As we see a first track limit penalty for Sniper, who exceeded track limits for the third time. Strike 3 and you get a 3-second time penalty in this game. Unlike in real life where you get 2 black and yellows, third one black and yellow, not black and yellow, black and white. 2 warnings, black and white, and then you get a 5-second time penalty for track limits. I wish F126 would have that feature, but I don't think they will do it. Anyway, Leon's in the pits, which is okay. Interesting. Very odd choice from Leon, who decided to switch on to the another set of hards. I'm not sure what happened there with Leon. Why did he decide to do a 2-stop? It is to answer the shoot. Who's currently flying on those mediums. He's now in third again, ahead of Cortini, who thought of fighting it but decided eventually to back out of it to stay where he is in the second, I should say third place. I apologize. But yeah, very weird. Or maybe he believes that Shoot is not gonna be able to nurse those tires until the end. And he might have a point. Because those medium tires, the medium tire lasted was 11 laps with Cortini. But will Shoot have any tire management skills on his disposal to try and nurse those tires until the end? And I think that's what Leon's going for. He's just praying for Shoot to have a puncture or a pit stop. That's what he's trying to accomplish right now. Pressure Shoot into going until the end and hoping he gets a puncture, or force Shoot to make a pit stop. Which will be interesting to see for sure. In the next couple of laps, there are still 6 laps to go. So, yeah. For Shoot Fizz's case, I would say definitely the best option probably would be to try and stay out and manage the tires, but Leon is definitely going to fly all the remainder of the race non-stop with no mistakes whatsoever. He cannot afford any kind of mistake, this driver, if he wants to try and snatch that position away from the Williams, who's currently occupying that luxurious first place. So there's that. Obviously, last time we were in Silverstone, Shoot was the driver's champion in Season 4. Finished 3rd in that Grand Prix. And at the moment, with 5 laps to go, might be able to finish that job. But Formula Leon, 28, I think it was, 28.9. Let me check the fast laps. Yeah, 28.9 from Formula Leon to get snatch away that fast lap point for himself and from Shoot. So there you have it. Susith. No, I'm not sure who did I see. Did I saw anyone else? But no, I don't think I did. So I might be wrong. It was actually the penalty for Pastor Zeus, I think. 3-second time penalty. So there's that. But yeah, Leon is catching. Leon's definitely catching. 17.5 seconds. It was about 20 seconds the lap before. Leon's going full out on this one. He's taking the risk with this, but he's definitely backing up this far. Backing up is this risk, the claim to try and catch up to Shoot and beat him that way. Shoot definitely seems to be in control at the moment. Yeah, pretty much the only thing going on that is in this race. Leon and Shoot. Leon deciding to take a risk with a two-stop and chase the Williams in hopes to, in the end, to catch up. But it's very risky for Shoot to try and get through. As Gortini's gonna go into the pits, so he's gonna try and snatch the fastest lap away from Leon. Sniper is approaching the first couple of corners with Gortini approaching the pit exit. It's gonna be tied between them two, and I think Sniper will just about get ahead of the McLaren there. And Sniper is in the podium position, though the only issue is Gortini is on the fresh softs and Sniper has a penalty for track limits. But the gap is now 14.2 seconds between Williams and Alpine. Both teams are currently the top two in the team's championship, and by the looks of it, Williams might just get it over the Alpine there, who just have a single man at the moment. But you know, there's still time if who's watching and not racing in this league. You can feel free to join our Discord server and sign up to be our driver within the required time, of course. So there's that, as Gortini with ease gets past the Sniper to reclaim that third spot. Fastest is also gonna try and beat that fastest lap of Formula Leon's, who is currently 12.4 seconds behind Shootfizz. But yeah, Shootfizz at this point is needs to manage his tires. From my perspective, I just don't see how pushing on even further is gonna help him in the long run. There's still 4 laps to do. Shoot might take it, but also Shoot might also suffer a puncture, so you might never know. You never know what might happen at the end of the reverse British Grand Prix, that is. 11.3. Now 11.81 seconds between Shoot and Leon. Leon just using all of his battery at his disposal to cut that gap shorter and shorter by each corner. Actually, I'll watch Gortini in the meanwhile, how he's gonna perform. So he's improving by around 800s through the second sector, so he's definitely on his personal best, no questions asked. He's now navigating through the third sector, as you can see on the helicopter camera view. Is he gonna beat Formula Leon's fastest lap time? I don't think he will, so it's gonna be 30.9 from Gortini, so that failed. Meanwhile, the fastest lap owner is 9.7 seconds behind. Shootfizz going through a lap field. And Shoot just about manages to keep those tires in window. I mean, there are still 2 laps to go once Shoot crosses the finish line, of course. But Leon is running out of time. On pure pace, I don't think he'll be able to catch him. He just needs to pray that he has a puncture. That's the only thing he can ask for if he wants to win that race. .5 between the two. The gap. Definitely still catching Leon, no question asked. Though Shufis, I would assume is praying each corner that one of the tires just decides not to puncture. So that he can take that at what it would look like an unlikely victory here in Silverstone for him, considering Leon and Gary were pretty much quicker on pace, but strategy-wise, Leon might or might not have made a blunder there. Not that it matters in terms of his championship, but in terms of his chances of winning the race. He might or might not have messed up there, but there's still one lap to go, so now we are not gonna set everything in stone just yet. 6.7 seconds between Shootfizz and Leon, as Shootfizz crosses the line to set 32.9 across the line, with Leon setting 30.1, so he is catching by 2 and a bit seconds. Final lap of the race. Shootfizz is in the lead. Formula Leon is maximum overdrive on that Alpine to try and catch to the Williams, who is nursing those tires as much as possible. Not impossible to, you know, drive until the end of the lap with your tires intact, with the mediums the Shoot has, but he needs to pray to F1 gods pretty much to help him maintain that. As the Shoot now goes to Luffy 5.4 seconds. Leon is running out of corners, running out of time to do something about Shoot Fizzle. I'm not Jamie Jackson. Shoot Fizz. To approach the final couple of corners in a very unlikely situation where Leon took a risk in the strategy and it didn't pay off, but it will pay off. Is Shoot Fizz's strategy on mediums, and that will allow him to win the reverse British Grand Prix. The Season 4 champion on this track, Season 6 Grand Prix winner on the home soil for the home team. Shoot Fizz takes the victory ahead of Leon, who will settle for second. The risk that it didn't pay off for him, but in terms of championship, you can be happy with having that championship gap extended over Gary Gator. As Passive Zeus has crossed the line to finish 5th, Sniper has gone onto the gravel. But congratulations to X Cortini, who through commitment and consistency managed to stay where he is and scored his first podium of his career in the R Racing League. 44 seconds down, but still, commitment and consistency can get you far, and that's the result that you can see right here, as Sniper is gonna score some valuable points for his team as he's going to greet the fans, I guess. No, actually has a puncture, never mind. He has a front right puncture, that's why he might have gone onto the gravel. He had a front right puncture on that tire. So, yeah, Sniper is gonna nurse this home, Lewis Hamilton 2020 style, to come across the line and to essentially take the victory, take the 4th place, and valuable points for Williams as well in the team championship to put them ahead of Alpine right here. But yeah, definitely in some ways a race to be intrigued by, to watch, I guess. That Leon and Gary battle, which was initially carrying point, but then Gary's equipment issues, which he was forced to retire because of, and then Shoot Fizz and Leon pretty much the only two who were in that championship, well, not championship, the race winning contention, choosing to basically be where they are, and for Shoot Fizz it paid off in the end, whereas for Leon it did. But there you go, final race classification. We didn't get to see it. I'll see if I can get Shoot on the for the word, but we'll see. It's a dead second to last lap, so I guess not. Or maybe we'll get something from Quartini if he wants. I'll give him a few minutes. So yeah, I would have been able to do on Discord, but unfortunately they don't, Xbox doesn't record the Discord audio, so I'm screwed there. But yeah, certainly definitely had some plot twists, for sure. This race. Gary taking pole position, obviously. I mean, it was either him or Leon, and it was Gary in the end. Then the shocking start from Gary, which allowed Leon to take the lead, and then Gary got back. And after the pit stops, Gary had an equipment issue, lost the force feedback on his wheel, forced to retire because of that, and then it was basically Shoot versus Leon, where could have argued Leon could have, if he stayed on that one stop, he would have probably won, but he chose to take a different approach and it didn't work out for him, and that allowed Shoot, who managed to maintain his tires to 61%, on those, which is surprisingly impressive, especially on the pad, apparently, which is much harder to manage the tires with the pad. He managed to, at the end, to take his yet another victory in his career, and first in Silverstone. I don't think I got a response from the team today. I don't think so. No, he didn't. So I think we can call it quits here. So April 1st, April Fool's Day. We're racing in Monaco, but we're not fooling you. We're actually racing in Monaco for race number 3 of season 6. Very mixed fortunes have been going on here. In season 2, we had pretty straightforward race, and then in race season 3, we've had all but 3 drivers finish that time round. But yeah, we'll see what this season will bring in the prestigious streets of Monte Carlo. But until then, it's been your Commentator, my show, so thank you very much for watching this race. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it gave you a bit of a something to give your life a short time of worth watching, I guess. I don't know where I'm going with this. Anyway, yeah, thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next Wednesday on April the 1st for the Monaco Grand Prix. Until then, we're going to say to you goodbye, good evening, good night, and take care.